Wait, my camera just did its own thing there. Pop, pop. Let me see if I can get it so you guys can actually see what I'm working on. Or it just does whatever it feels like doing. So this is not the painting that won the poll on Patreon. I want to have a little bit of extra time doing it, so I figured let's do a little bit of an easier painting. Then I've got 3 weeks to complete something instead of 2 weeks to complete something. And so then I can have a little bit more quality in what I'm trying to do rather than, you know, the standard thing. But that being said, hello. Let me go ahead and message the Discord, just make sure that they all know that I'm live. Bip, bip. Anyway, how are you guys? How's the audio? All that jazz. Pop. Alright, there we go. Cool. Anyway, how are you guys? I've been having an alright day. More or less okay. Got out, went and did stuff. I realized I didn't have any reference photos for painting, so I went down to the mall where I normally go when I'm going to get reference pictures for this this style painting that I'm going to do today, and went and took some pictures. And then I realized that I looked like a psycho, because I was taking pictures of the mannequins, you know. Would be handy for it to link to the stream page instead of... Oh, yeah, what's the, do you have a link for that so I can actually fix that? Because I actually do not know what the link for that is. But yeah, whoops. So yeah, I go down to the mall and wander around, just kind of sneakily take pictures of the mannequins, and just look like a creeper, you know. Sounds good. A bit of background noise. Yeah, I've got a I'm using a crummier mic today because that way I can move my head around, and it's generally not quite as good. I think the background is dry. I painted it blue. I feel like it's gonna need a couple more layers, but yeah, I actually don't know what the right region for that is, so, or what the right name for it is. So, anyway, on the way there, my AC broke again. You know how last stream I was talking about how it was working again? It's not anymore. It's not anymore. It's 98 degrees today. According to something that one of the people on the Discord was saying, that means that, you know, with the way that cars work, the internal temperature of the car was somewhere around 128 degrees, which 98 degrees is like 37 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty awful. I'm going to be painting without using like music or anything, so you can kind of just pick out whatever you feel like listening to. And that way we can kind of just chill and do our own thing if you got your own project to work on. It's like hanging out with a friend while they're doing art and you're doing art, and it'll be great. Maybe, just maybe, you'll do some art for the charity contest, which ends soon. Let me go with soon. Yeah, and I don't know what 128 is in Celsius, but it's not good. It's not good at all. So I had to roll down the windows, which means that I had no jams. So I had to drive all the way to the mall with no jams. Who drives a car with no jams? It's bad. It's bad not to have the jams. I need those jams. You know? So, anyway. I mean, I could, like, roll up the window every now and then, kind of listen to the jams for a bit, then die a little bit, then go, okay, fine, I'll roll down the window, and then I'd roll down the window, and then be like, wow, it feels like a refrigerator now, it's so cold. So, I didn't turn on the camera. Whoops. Great. First marks of any actual matter I don't have recorded. Whoops. Also, if you're a patron and you're waiting for the full content of the last video, it's 14 hours long, and I was going to upload a 14-hour video, but it kind of broke my computer to try and render that. So instead, I'm rendering it in 6 parts, and then once they're all rendered and uploaded, I'll put it on Artcade so that way you guys can get to it. But that's why there's the delay there, and why it's going to be basically 2 weeks late. I apologize for that. That being said, I feel like there are some extenuating circumstances, and it does seem like one of the rewards of the Patreon that people don't typically use. So I'm curious to see if it's even worth continuing. Around 53 degrees Celsius. Oof. Yeah, it's not good. So I just kind of sat in a car when it was apparently 53 degrees Celsius. So that's not good. And it's probably why I felt a little bit sick at the for a majority of that drive, because I was probably suffering from heat stroke. So that's cute. But the mall was good. It was good to get out and do the things, be out and about. It's a consistent problem I have with streaming is I don't have a good reason to leave my house most of the time, unless if it's to spend money, and I'm not entirely sure how to remedy that. I need to have a reason to leave the house that doesn't cost me an obscene amount of money every time I do it. Like, I like Warhammer. It costs me money, though, so I need to have something else. I think I need to get, like, the band back together or something like that. Basically a reason to not just walk from over there in the other room where the bed is to in here where the desk is, where I do everything I work on. Yeah. Just a little bit of that going on. But it was good to get out, even though the security guards were kind of sort of following me around. To be fair, I was wandering around, like, trying to take stealth pictures of the mannequins, so I did look like a creepy person. So I'm not going to be like, meh. But the dude was he also looked like a 12-year-old, like, or probably closer to, like, 16, 18, somewhere in that region, but, like, I could take him. You know, if the security guards were like, hey, stop taking pictures of the mannequins, I'd be like, first off, free country, my dude. Second off, I do what I want, and I could beat you in a fist fight. Let's go. You don't even have a nightstick. So, you know, there's that. Not saying... What about going on daily walks? Well, it was 98 degrees today. Aside from that, it's been definitely an idea I've thought of. Just needs to get to be a little bit cooler. I hate everything about this painting already, so we're on the right track. I definitely need to get up and move. I think that needs to be part of whatever the thing I do is. And I feel like it's what I talk about every single time I do Artcade, but you know, it's a consistent problem in my life, so it's a consistent topic of discussion. Let's see. I'm gonna try and fix up some of these bits, some of these lines that I don't like. So I kind of photoshopped up what I want it to look like, and then I'll just paint it to be vaguely close to that with some, like, changes, because, like, there's some bits with the Photoshop that I don't really care for, but it's, like, in the general, like, region of what I want. It's close enough that I know where I want it to go. So if it doesn't perfectly match it, I'm fine with that, as long as it meets the criteria of what I'm trying to do. But right now, if there's basically a poll on Patreon, and so if you're interested and you can always donate to that. Dollar gets you onto the Patreon where you can see the poll, and then you can decide what you want to do. That being said, I would much rather you guys save your money. There will be a similar poll after I'm done with whatever painting I'm about to do. There'll be a similar poll for the next one, so, you know, hold off this week, because the charity is coming up. The charity art contest ends on the 17th at midnight. I do not remember what time zone, but you should enter, because I assume that if you like art enough to watch someone do it, you might also like art enough to do it yourself. And so maybe you do that, you know? But yeah. That's kind of my spiel for that. My block is going to be on Friday, it turns out. I've been saying Saturday, because I think every other time we've done the charity, it's been on Saturday, but I kind of just, like, assumed, but, you know, it's not this year, which is fine. I just sort of forgot, and so now I look like a jerk. So, if you're listening to this, it's going to be Friday, and I don't remember if I'm allowed to say what time or not, which is why I am really bad at keeping secrets, because essentially I'm dumb. And that definitely causes some problems. It makes it a lot harder to participate in secrets, because you'll tell people them, and then you'll be like, oh, that was supposed to be a secret. So generally speaking, if someone comes to me with something and they're like, well, listen, you know, you don't really need to know this, but I'm just going to tell you, so that way you know, but it's a secret. Can you keep a secret? And I'm like, actually, no. Like, not a gossip or anything. I'm just really bad at remembering what's supposed to be secret. So, like, you know, maybe don't tell me a thing. Hey, Medi. Maybe early morning is the trick. I'm not much of an early bird. I'm sort of a, I don't know. I wouldn't even say a night owl. I just have a weird sleep schedule. I kind of sleep the times I do because it's convenient for my body. It's one of those things. It's sort of like getting out for walks and stuff. It's like I hate having a physical body and having to do things and it having needs like eating and sleeping and sometimes it wants water. Like, that's why I play monks every time I play some sort of like D&D like game, you know? Just try the coin game. It has an atmosphere similar to My Summer Car. I will look into that if I remember to do so. But that sounds good. You shouldn't feel bad about doing paint. You're gonna screw them up every now and then, but that's the thing. You know? Maybe I should listen to some music. I don't know. I don't really have any recommendations for music either right now. I've been listening to the same tracks for a bit. The standard mix of like metal and then like chill jams, you know, the Mystery Skulls or the Jojis of the world, mixed with some Gwar and some King Diamond. So it's a messed up mix that I've got, but I just sort of look up whatever song I feel like listening to and then go from there. But yeah, I generally just dislike having a physical body that has needs. I would rather it didn't, but unfortunately, it seems like I do actually have to tend to the needs of my body. Else, it gets worse and it gets even needier, and it's like, I don't know. I'm being a bit facetious, but there's a part of that that's real, that it's just like, a lot of the maintenance of just being human upsets and annoys me. Not really upsets, it just annoys me, because it feels like, I don't know. I mean, like, the body is interconnected with everything else that goes on. You can't think if you don't sleep. You can't, you know, work. You can't paint. You can't do any of the things that matter in life when your body is not taken care of. But that being said, it feels so like, I don't know, the differentiation between like what makes me me, like, I don't really see my physical body as important to being me. But unfortunately, it's incredibly important to being me because, you know, yeah, I have to eat, unfortunately, else it doesn't work. And so yeah. Do you listen to Pink Floyd? Not much. I know how to play like one Pink Floyd song on the guitar because it was the first song I ever learned. Wish You Were Here is just an easy song to learn, but it sounds pretty. When I learned it, I didn't really know too many people who had like drug problems, so it's just kind of a weird song that I learned. But now it's like, oh, okay, you know. So I don't know. It's sort of like the maintenance of a car or something. It's like I'm very aware that it needs it. Like I know that it needs maintenance, you know, but I just absolutely hate having to do it, you know? Same sort of thing with my body. It's like I'm aware that you need these things in order to operate, but can you just like not for a minute? Like I'm realizing as I'm saying this that no, I had lunch. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm waiting to have dinner until Tilda gets off work. Once Tilda gets off work, then I'll eat. She doesn't know about the car yet, which is she's gonna be upset about that. But you know, because we had it in the shop for about 2 weeks, hoping to get it fixed. Then it's like, oh, it doesn't work still. Like we were so happy to have it back, but and it's like it's not a cost thing, it's just a time thing. It's time out of our day, it's time to go do stuff. It's time you know, like I don't want to go out and do stuff while it's broken. Like while it's broken, I can't really go and do things that I enjoy until after the sun goes down. And the sun doesn't go down until 8. I don't know, something like that. So, I think once summer ends, I can start bothering about going out and doing stuff. But it hadn't occurred to me that I had been away from my previous day job for as long as I have until Tilda pointed out how long she's been working her second job. It's like, wow, really? Can't have been that many months. But it has been. Which means that, by and large part, I haven't been working out for several months in a row. And that's bad, because I probably will exacerbate any of the being alive issues that I have. I mean, like, you know, my car is functioning well. My car functions outside of it not having air conditioning fine. It just blows hot air now. And they replaced the fuse, which is something that I thought to do, but when I looked up how to do it, I'm like, I'm going to break that. And when I break that, I'm going to have to bring it into a place, and they're going to be like, what did you do? And I'm going to be like, I tried to replace the fuse. And they're going to be like, why are you dead? And I'm like, because I tried to replace the fuse. You know? And then I'll be dead. So that won't be ideal. So I was just like, you know what? We're just going to pay a dude to do it, because he knows how to do it. He's a friend of the family. He can get it done. He'll do it right the first time rather than me messing around with it. I'm fairly certain now that, I mean, like, it worked for a bit, but I feel like it only worked because it was cold that night. So it was blowing outside air in. And I think it's like the, there's coolant needed for, you know, the air conditioner to work. And I feel like that ran out. Anthony Lawrence says, have 3 hobbies. One to keep you in shape, one to make money, and one you love. I'd like for all of them to be things that I love. But I get it. I think having a hobby that I mean, I feel like that's one thing that would maybe encourage me to work out is if I actually enjoyed it. Because anytime I go to work out, we got like a workout center here in the apartment. It's like very basic. It's got a bunch of machines that I don't know what they are or what they do, and treadmills. And so basically, I don't touch any of the things aside from the dumb weights and the dumbbells. I mean, and the treadmill. And the treadmill is okay. The treadmill is fine. I understand how to use a treadmill. You walk on it or run on it until you're done. It's pretty straightforward, you know? But, you know, last time I was down there, I was just, walking. I figured, if I walk like an hour or two a day, that'll keep me in decent shape. It's not like great shape, but like, I get a couple thousand steps in, and I realize the 10,000 step thing is apparently BS. It's apparently not real. But I figure that's a good enough goal. That's a thing to think about. And dude comes in and he's got workout gear. I don't have workout gear. Dude comes in, he's got workout gear on. He's all ready to run, and he just starts clocking it. He just like books it on the treadmill next to me for like a couple of minutes, and I feel like a weirdo just walking like normal walking speed, not even like a brisk walk, but just a walk, because I'm like, let's just take it easy, like, just have an easy walk. I'll walk for like 2 hours straight, and then, sit on my butt for the rest of the day, probably. And I think I might sharpen off the edges here. I think that might look good. I like that. I like that look in all of the mannequin paintings that I do, where I sharpen off the edges rather than do them exactly as reality dictates. But because they're kind of sharpened off anyway, like they're idealized, weird alien versions of humans. But I feel like I also need to bring his or her face. I'm not entirely sure on this one. I think it's a chick, but it's a mannequin, so, it's also a mannequin, so it's, gendered, I guess, because we say it is. Didn't really need one. Anyway, what's up, Family Disappointment? That's a good name. So... Anyway, so I start feeling like a weirdo because I'm just walking on the treadmill. But this guy is like, he's going for it. Like, clearly he's like, he does this a lot, Like, actually working out like a normal, like, human probably should. But normally doesn't have time to because, life's not like that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just down here running too. So I start cranking up the speed, right? And then he just leaves. He just leaves like a couple minutes after he's done like his like 5-minute power run. And maybe that's all he had time for. He was just like, I got 10 minutes before I gotta go to work. I'm just gonna book it for like an hour or like 10 minutes. And then that'll be good. And I don't know about exercising, but I feel like that's not good for your body to just go like stand still to just like booking it. But I could be wrong. But that doesn't seem like how the human body should work. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things. When it comes to physical health, that's one of them. This is definitely one of the things that I do not know what I'm talking about, and you should not take my advice on, aside from you should probably do that, like the physical exercise thing. But I digress. So I haven't really been down since then to go to the exercise center. Also, I always feel weird anytime anyone else is in there. Like, it's a public space. You go there to work out. It's not like I'm going to walk in there, get on the treadmill, and people are like, oh my god, what a freak. He's using a treadmill. It's like, it's the purpose of the room. But, I also just don't want to, like, talk to anyone or bother anyone or really interact with human beings on a... basic level. I just don't like doing that for the most part. I mean, it was good getting out and walking around the mall today just to take pictures. I sound like an old person. But, you know. This is where, like, all the people I used to go to community college work now. Like, they all work in that one mall. I recognize this one chick that, she was part of the gamer group. Since I've grown a beard, she doesn't recognize me anymore. But every time, like, we go, like, me or Tilda go to the mall, she tries to, like, sideline us for whatever her, like, job is. Like, she has to talk to us about whatever the thing is. And I always have to do, like, the normal, like, I'm not really interested, I'm sorry, thing, you know? Like, she's never trying to interact with me because she recognizes me or wants to talk to me, but I definitely remember her. Any secluded stairs around? Yeah, I mean, it's not an issue. I just basically need to just do it. And I'll probably do it in the workout center just because it's, you know, air conditioned. And round about this time of year it actually matters. If it were, you know, during the, like, autumn or, you know, spring, I don't mind just taking a walk, you know, somewhere. It's not too bad, but when it comes to, like, this time of year, it's just awful. So I think that's going to be the trick, is just kind of like, you know, we still recording? We're still good. Okay. It looks alright on the capture. It always looks better on the capture than it does with me physically painting it. Like, I hate the way it looks when I'm actually painting it, but it turns out alright. You know, most of the time these paintings turn out alright. It's like I have 30 some odd years of experience doing art, and I should trust myself and my skill, but, you know, I don't, so. But yeah, so I did that to her today. She was like, hey, you know, can I talk to you about it? And I'm like, no, I'm alright. You know, and then I pretended to get a text, because I'm that guy. Like, I've been on the other side of that, where, like, I gotta try and hawk something. I remember being in, like, you know, groups or whatever, where we had to, like, try and sell something. Either, like, you know, actually working for a company, or, you know, doing something in college or whatever, like, trying to talk to people, and they don't want to talk to you. Like, they're doing their own thing. People never want to talk to you. And in college, I would make a point of it to, like, go out of my way to try and talk to these people to make them feel better. I realize now, they don't actually care. They really don't. It's just their job to talk to you. But, you know, it is what it is, right? I should mention, I'm going to be streaming again tomorrow on here, for the same reason I'm streaming here. I don't trust this apartment complex to have strong enough walls to do a pull-up bar. Like, that does not seem like a thing that exists here. Like, I don't trust like that. Probably not good to say that, but I mean, like, the water tap now just makes this banging sound, and sometimes, when I'm taking a shower, the lights just turn off. The light bulb in this thing right above me, it's like a fan that I never turn on. A dust collector, if you will. I was putting away the groceries a couple days ago, and the light, just a light bulb out of, like, the little, it's got, like, 4 little, I don't know what they're called, bucket things for lights, holders, sconces, attached to the fan itself. One of the bulbs just fell out. Not like the whole thing, not like the metal bit and the glass, but just the glass bit fell out. And it was just like, oh, okay, that's an issue now that I have to figure out how to deal with. So I YouTubed up a whole bunch of things trying to figure out, like, hey, how do I get that out? Do I live in a cardboard mansion? I live in a apartment complex, so something very similar to that, yeah. Yeah, just the socket and the glass, like the actual filament, stayed in. The glass bulb itself left. Like, it just ejected itself out. Abby weighs nothing. Herman is a big boy now. Abby weighs all of, I think, 4 pounds now. When we got her, she was 2. So she's growing. She's growing like a weed. But, you know, simultaneously, you know, she's still little. She's still very little. She's been sitting in my lap a lot today. I don't know. You guys could probably go back to the Danganronpa episode that I was streaming when I introduced Abby, and you guys could figure out exactly how big she's gotten in how much time. I do not remember when we got her. I want to say about a month ago. She's like doubled inside. Let's see. And this is like the most interesting one of them. Momo passed away, unfortunately. And if we can change the subject now, if that's alright. Sorry. But, you know, Herman and Abby get along really well. They're definitely, like, really good friends. Like, they cuddle most of the day. You already carry disappointment with you when the chat goes feet mode. Yeah, I'm always worried that the camera is just gonna like fly off the little thing, because it's kind of the balancing act that I've got. I bought a little like stand for it. I think I've shown you guys this a billion times, but it's balanced on the camera, the DSLR, and then as long as it's hooked on the way that I've hooked it on, it's fine. But every now and then it'll fall off, or like the camera will just start drifting away. I'm worried one of these times it's gonna like slam into the ground and you just get a good look at my weird like hobbit feet, and how I don't trim the nails on them half the time. And yeah, Mike Rift later. Nah, I'm skipping out on streaming on Twitch for the next couple of days. So none of that, unfortunately. It's unfortunate because I thought Prime Day was just tomorrow, and I was like, okay, this won't affect my plans any at all. I'll just stream art tomorrow, and then I'll be good. And then people were like, no, actually, it's both days. And it's like, how can Prime Day be 2 days? And like, Twitch sent all these things about how they're, you know, advertising it as like Twitch is selling out. It's just like, you're a giant corporation. You can't sell out. You bought in. You know, like you're big. You're a massive company. You can't sell out. That's not how selling out works. Selling out implies that you had a soul to begin with. I love Twitch. It's a great platform. I just don't like, you know, some bits. It's Prime Days, exactly. So I mean, like, could have made some extra money because there were definitely like a lot of opportunities that they messaged me and probably everyone else about, like, hey, you know, if you know, do Prime Day, like, blah, blah, blahs, then you'll get an extra amount of money because it's Prime Day. A whole bunch of different things like that going on, and I understand for the people who are still streaming today, like, it's fine. I'm not going to knock people for streaming today because, like, you got to do what you got to do to survive, you know? But simultaneously, like, I need to get this painting done anyway, and I can do something else. And I think a younger version of myself would be disappointed in myself if I streamed on Twitch today. So none of that. I really like this painting. It looks neat. I'm glad you're liking it so far. I chose blue because blue is it's a good color. It's one of my favorites outside of black, which is why the painting is also black. I don't know how this is going to turn out, and if it's bad, then I've got some time. A painting like this will usually take me closer to like 4 hours rather than like 14. Based on what's winning on the Patreon poll right now, I'm going to need 3 weeks because that painting, which I don't think you guys can see... Oh, recording stopped. I'm on now. There you go. The Yakuza painting that I did ended up taking like 14. Thanks for the YouTube stream. No worries. I can't be like, this is who I am as a person, and then not be that. I don't know, that just makes me a hypocrite, or a jerk. Blue is a good color. Blue is a very good color. I mean, all of this is going to have, like, this weird black outline. Like, I was messing around with stuff, and then I ended up stumbling onto that. I'm like, that looks neat. I like that. Like, it makes things look like they pop a bit more. So, I'm going to try that. See how it goes. And then go from there. So. Trying to collect up all the different things for the, you know, because I'm streaming on Friday, apparently. I need to make sure that I've got the everything, all the games and stuff situated. Because I want to have, like, a decent list. I think for a Flash game stream, it's somewhere around, like, 20 to 30 Flash games that I need to pick out. And then, you know, maybe a handful extra if I see something in the sidebar that looks good. Just any amount. I think it's like $1 is the minimum. I feel like that, like, getting, like, updates. I mean, theoretically, you guys get to see into my sketchbook. And I keep to that. I just don't ever do anything with my sketchbook. I just go in raw and hope it works every single time. And it's bad to do that. Like, that's not a good way of doing art. But theoretically, I do show you guys exactly what I'm doing in my sketchbook. I just don't sketch. And instead, I screw around on my phone for, you know, numerous hours. And I shouldn't do that anymore. But I do, unfortunately. And so, as such, that I feel like I need to get rid of that promise from the Patreon page. Because it's, like, not quite true, really. You know? Like, technically speaking, it is. Sort of like I'm showing you, like, if you subscribe on Patreon, I'll show you all the times that I do a sick backflip. Like, there'll be a special video just for you every time I just opt to do a sick backflip. You know? Equally true. I don't know how to do a backflip. I've never done one in my life. Although, with sketches, at least I, you know, theoretically would do that at some point. I just don't. So, there's that. But yeah, I feel like that should be, like, maybe just a, like, thing that happens rather than, I don't know, something I promise. Because promising that it'll happen and then not doing it is not as bad as not promising anything and then you guys get something. Right now, I feel like the dollar tier is mainly there for the ability to participate in the polls and make sure you get the full content videos and stuff like that over the sketchbook thing. Because the sketchbook thing, realistically, is not happening right now. And I should change that. But, you know, haven't yet. At the $2,000 tier, I'll do a sick backflip every month, just for you, for one lucky patron. Teach Rev to backflip 2019. I feel like if I did a backflip, I would do one. I would do one, break my neck on impact, and then never do anything else ever again because I would be dead. That's what I feel like would happen, you know? Like, it wouldn't be cool. It'd be sad. You guys would have to have, like, a funeral for me. And it'd be like, he died how he lived, doing one sick backflip and then nothing else. Just being dead because he broke his neck. Like, even on a padded surface, I would still manage to, like, completely kill myself. Danganronpa this week? Thursday. We'll try and finish it on Thursday. Tomorrow the video is coming out for the last episode. It took a while for me to figure out how to get it past the copyright claim. NBC Japan claimed the execution, like a very crucial final execution, and they didn't just like monetize it, they also like blocked the video worldwide. And so it's just like, oh good, like, because I would just suck it up, you know? Like, I'll suck it up if it just gets demonetized. That's fine, you know? Because it is, like, jarring not to be able to see that reaction and be like, man, that was super messed up, that last execution. Anyway, you know? Patreon incentive, do an arcade while cosplaying as a video game or anime character of the patron's choice. I don't feel like that would be a thing I would do. That would be, I'd be Hasune Miku every freaking month. Remember, this is Artcade. I'm trying not to curse. It's probably good practice. It's actually probably very good practice to not be cursing now. Because during the charity, like, you know, it's for kids. Obviously, the kids aren't watching it, but, you know, I want to be, like, you know, presentable. You know, if they do decide to put us on the front page somehow, which I know is something that we've tried to do in the past, Twitch doesn't like it when you curse on the front page. It's like some kid goes, I want to watch Fortnite and Minecraft today. And then they log on, and their parent is like, well, let's go and see what we can find. I want to make sure that you're not watching any, you know, degenerates, kid. And then they turn it on, and it's just me just, like, busting out an F-bomb first thing. And it's like, well, Jimmy, I guess we're going to have to burn all your video games, because it just leads you to be a sinner. I don't know what this, like, fictional world that I've invented is, and why Jimmy's dad is, like, that involved in his life. But, you know. I've got something special going on. It's not just going to be Flash games this year. I've got some special stuff going on. And I think you guys will enjoy it. I think you will. And if I can get it to work, you guys will very much enjoy it. And if I can't get it to work, you'll be like, what are you doing, Rev? And I'll be like, failing at things. My parents asked the other day, because I went to go visit them, because the mechanic's place is, like, closer to their house, so they just, like, you know, we put them as the contact, and then they don't have to drive, like, as far. It's, like, 5 minutes, 10 minutes down the road or whatever, as opposed to, like, 30, 40 minutes out of the way for me. So it just makes more sense for them to pick it up and all that jazz. So they pick up the car, and I go and hang out with them for a bit, you know. And they're, you know, I was telling them about me and stuff that's going on in my life and how things are going well, because things are actually kind of good right now for me, which is weird. Like, I feel like something bad should happen at some point, but it's not. It's, like, continuing to be very nice for me. Like, the worst thing I have to deal with is, like, I don't know, need to get out more. get a little bit of cabin fever, but that's the worst thing that's going on in my life right now. Like, I don't have existential dread every morning waking up thinking I'm gonna have to go to, like, I don't know, a crappy job where I'm gonna get yelled at, or worse, someone's gonna figure out where I work and then they're gonna send, like, a mob of people to harass me or murder me. I don't have to deal with that anymore. I can just, like, enjoy life for the most part, and so it's just like... So, I was telling them about the charity and how it's coming up. They're like, is there anything we can do to help? And it's like, no, that's okay. Still in progress. We'll have updates for you tomorrow. One of the things that I mentioned, I might have to change, and I can just do that on the fly. If that makes sense. Because, it's limited. Does that make sense? Can I be vague enough about it that you know what's going on? But anyway, they were wanting to help the charity. And, you know, I'm sure my parents would do a great job. Like, they met Hootie. They like Hootie. But also just like, you know, I don't know. I don't really know how to respond to that. I've said it before, and it's true. I don't curse around my parents. If I curse around my parents, my brother will be like, whoa, what's that? Where'd that come from? Even though he curses like a sailor, too. But just, you know, when we're around, especially my mom, it's just like, don't do that, man. Be classy. So... if it happens that that's the case, the one that is an issue, there's another one that's very similar, and we'll just be like, instead we're doing this one. Actually, no, I actually took that one out, so never mind. I'm an idiot. It's good. Because I had too many options, and I was like, instead of having all these options, let's limit it down a bit, and that'll be better. I don't actually totally hate this right now, which means it's probably bad, and I should be hating it. I mean, yeah, I can go up to, like, that tier, like, the kind of stuff that someone in church might go, oh, but, like, they wouldn't, like, that might get a snicker out of them, but they're not going to be like, oh, that kind of thing. You know, I can go up to that kind of level of curse word. My mom has obviously heard and used curse words before, but, I don't know. It just feels weird to use them in front of my mom. Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, I think we're good with what I did. With what I sent you, Natalie, I think we're good. We should be fine. Barring something similar happening to the stuff that I actually sent you. But yeah, we should be good. But I think the trick is that I just need to, for the next couple of streams, just curb the cursing. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know? Like, when it's me, when it's my stream, when it's my thing, I do whatever I want, you know? But when it's like, you know, the people who have been working on this charity, like, I'd like to say that I've been helping out with the charity, you know, for the past year. I haven't, because I'm a jerk. I forget to help out with it every year, and then it comes along, and it's like, oh my god, it's like a week. It's like a week until the charity. I need to get my Flash games together. What's going on? Did we figure out stuff? Like, did we do things? And then it's like, oh, actually, it's going great. Like, yeah, Everything's situated. We've had 18 meetings, and it's going wonderfully because we're all on top of things. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll help out next year, I say, knowing perfectly well that, I mean, I do have a bit of an excuse this year. I have an excuse every year, but this year my excuse is I was getting married. But that doesn't explain where I was from, like, March onward. So there's that. There's that going on. So I'm not wrong. I'm fairly pretty close with 18 meetings, I'm sure. So I don't know. That's something I need to get together, is like a list. Because like normally I've got my BRB screen and it's got like, you know, here's my merch. Here's my crap that you can buy from me, you know? I want to switch it out. I did it last year. I want to switch it out with like credits to like all the people who just like make sure the gears work in the background. Because you know, they figured out when like a schedule works for all the streamers. They corralled streamers to actually have like a schedule rather than just sort of like, I'll just figure it out. Like, it's why we don't do too many like co-op streams is because just trying to get us to like do a thing together. It's not like from a lack of wanting. Like, I think every single time, especially when I talk to, like, Ima and stuff, I'm like, man, we should stream together. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then we don't. Because both of us forget to do it. And, you know, they're just kind of doing our own thing. Herding cats. To the extreme. So it's just sort of like, you know, and I know that sounds silly, like, how hard is it to just get streamers to, like, you know, I don't know, say what they're gonna do, when they're gonna do it, and when they have available time to do stuff. Very hard. Very hard. And that's why I've been actively trying to, you know, when someone messages me anything about the charity, I'm like, this is my response. I'm going to stick to that response. I'm not going to change things about my response, unless if you need me to, because I don't know why you're asking me this question, but I'm sure it's very important that it needs to be answered immediately so you can move on with whatever else you're working on. Because, at least I cannot be annoying, you know? So, that's why multiplayer streams don't happen more often. Essentially. And that's why they happen during the charity event, because it's like, we're all locked in and we're all like, man, you know how much money we could raise if we actually did whatever we normally do, but together? It's like, that would be great. We should do that. And then it's like, that's much easier to plan, you know? Like, Cootie messaged me about a multiplayer block thing that he wanted to do, and he was like, hey, had this idea. I don't know if he had it or someone else did. And I was like, that's great. I'm down. Perfect. Thank you for solving the, like, what do we do together question. And then we're going to do a thing. And it's going to be great. The charity stream's going to be great. I looked over the schedule. It's great. It looks really good this year. We got, like, all the Vinesauce peoples in doing what they do best. It's like the Werther's sampler package of like Vinesauce streams, complete with some like co-op streams that normally don't get done. So it'll be great. It'll be good. Y'all enjoy it. We'll raise some money for kids. Hopefully we, you know, kick cancer's ass. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that word either, am I? See, that one's, like, not so bad. I feel like that one's, you know, fine. It's fine. I don't know as if YouTube would be fine with it, but it's whatever. I mean, YouTube also actively, like, promotes just weird garbage to me, so I can probably say that word. I'm gonna have to put a quarter in the swear jar now. It hardly seems like punishment anymore. You know? Like a quarter? I don't even know what you could buy for a quarter anymore. Like, the 25-cent machines aren't even 25-cent machines anymore. Probably. I don't know. I don't actually go and look at the 25-cent machine anymore because I'm a 31-year-old man, and the sticky hands or whatever that they've got in the 25-cent machine, just, I don't know. It's lost its luster, its magic of buying some cheaply made, mass-produced piece of crap. When I was a child, heck yeah. I bought, like, a whole set of, like, knockoff Street Fighter little dudes. God, what was the other one? They had this one and it was like clowns. Yeah. Drinking game. Drink every time Rev swears. On an arcade stream, that's fine. On any other stream, you're going to die. Like, you will die within 30 minutes. You might even die within 30 seconds. I actually probably could curse at that level. You can swear, but I think YouTube will hold the comments. Y'all are fine. It's just when it comes to, like, the VOD, it's going to try and figure out what I've been saying. And then if in the closed captioning I've said a lot of curse words, it goes, ooh, that's not good. Although, you know, it's mainly just for discoverability reasons. Because YouTube wants to try and promote the most family-friendly, easygoing thing possible. And also a conspiracy video about how the moon is flat. Guys, did you know that? The moon is flat. And it's not real. And the moon killed JFK. Just so you know. The moon did it. The moon was on the grassy knoll. All this helped. The whiplash I get from some GDQ streams is real. How do you mean? Like the no cursing club stuff combined with, like, going from that to, like, any Vinesauce stream, and it's just like, whoa! You just said an F word. And you made a penis joke. That's... The moon is a hologram. Birds aren't real. That one is amazing. I love that. That's so weird. That's so weird. I love it. Anyway, I painted that guy blue because he's going to eventually have to be in order for me to get the details going on. Oh yeah, YouTube has weird emojis. I mean, it'd be nice to treat, you know, casual racist as, you know, also conspiracy theorists, because, I mean, in order to be racist, you basically have to believe in a conspiracy theory. One that has been debunked a billion times, but it's essentially a conspiracy theory. It's just a really dumb and awful one. Yeah, I mean, like, GDQ has I feel like a reputation for being uptight, but it's like, they're also like, you know, I don't know, I feel like that's unfair to say. I feel like that's a bit unfair. All cats are government spies. Interesting. I'm interested to see what it takes to actually get YouTube to be like, actually that's false. Because they'll put like a little Wikipedia article like thing about it. Does YouTube have a Kappa equivalent? Like, what is YouTube's Kappa equivalent? How garbage is it? Don't think that's quite right. We're going to keep doing it anyway, because that's how I run my life. I think this will be okay. We're almost out of battery. I have a second battery, but that also means... Wait, how are we almost out of battery? We should be fine for another hour. Maybe well, no, I painted a bit before because I did the blue in the background, and I want to make sure that's in the VOD, you know, for the cut, but I don't know, I might bust out the other battery. I'm gonna have to go at like 8:30-ish. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, like, that being said, about GDQ being uptight, there was also a guy who intentionally put, like, racial slurs in the save files this year to just try and get a rise out of people, so it's like, you know, I feel like they're uptight because they realize that that will probably happen, and that's the only way to stop it. You don't read depressing, I mean, like, it's encouraged that we curse less. You know, Hootie wants us to curse a little bit less. And out of respect for him and all the work that the people who have been working on the charity all year have been doing, I'm going to be like, cool, that's fine. You know, I can do that. The forcing them not to curse as much on GDQ, I feel like, is kind of a similar thing where you're, you know, trying to give respect. That's CST, yeah. So I've got like another hour or so before I gotta go, but my camera says they're almost out of battery. Luckily, I've got another battery, so I'll have to stop stream for like half a second, or at least stop the painting process for a second to go deal with it, and then we'll be good. Nah, I mean, both are wrong. No cursing or racial slurs. Like, they banned that dude afterwards, but, I mean, like, obviously, like, they didn't know he was gonna do that. That's the issue, is, like, you know, they gotta be a little bit hardcore about their rules, because otherwise, like... You know, people are gonna try and push the envelope just a little bit further. And in doing so, they're gonna be a jerk about it. Yeah. I don't know why people are people actually mad about that? He didn't say I can't curse. I'm just being respectful to him because, like, he's an amazing dude. You're really good at detailing. Well, thank you. I mean, like, as far as practice goes, the only thing I've really been practicing when it comes to painting recently is just painting those stupid Warhammer minis. I got a new one recently. I'm really proud of how it turned out, but it definitely had a lot of little, like, little bits and details. Once the camera cuts out, I'll give you guys a look if you want. It's not a competitive model, but it's a cool one, and I'm going to pretend like it is. I'm going to pretend like I'm doing a thing. If I pay you, will you draw me a Byakuga? No. Although that's something I should do. You know, like Patreon requests, that might be a thing. I want to give more value to the Patreon, but I'll wait until after the charity. Because I don't want to be like, donate to me right before a charity. Give me money. So that way you'll have no money to give to children with, you know, cancer. Like, jeez, you know? Did you get like 50 Noise Marines like you should? Noise Marines are alright right now. But no, I don't play CSM, so not so much. Looking alright. I think it'll be okay. I think this painting will be alright. And thank you for the compliment. It's a thing I do sometimes. I just sort of like, someone pays me a compliment and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's like, no, Colin, that makes you sound like a jerk. I had to stop myself from doing this thing for a while. For a while, when anyone would say something like, "Oh man, it's good to see you," or something like that. What was the line? What would they say? Not good to see you. No, that was it. Good to see you. And then I said, it's good to be seen, or something like that. And it's just like, ask them how they're doing, you jerk. I feel like that would be a good thing. So I'll wait until after the charity to announce crap like that. But, first things first, charity gets money. Then I'll worry about me. Then I'll worry about me and mine. Because we're all right. I don't know if Rev will see this, but... What? He will need to craft a full set of armor. Blah, 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 blah. And are we out of battery now? Is that what that click was? No, we got a little bit more time left. I should probably not read Minecraft comments while doing this. I mean, one good thing about the charity we're doing is that all of the money goes to the charity. So, it's the other bit about the Divine Sauce charity that I really like. I could very easily ask, like, hey, I'm freaking Rev Scarecrow. I deserve some of that cut. I'm drawing in the people. And I'm sure there would be an argument for that, but also I'm not a massive tool. So there's that. I know people do that with charities, but, the charity is one of those things that it's like, you know what? No, I'm actually doing some good in this world. Like every now and then I'll get a message on, YouTube or an email or a thing on Tumblr or tweet or something that makes me feel like, yeah, I'm actually doing some good stuff to this world, The world is a better place because I'm alive right now. That kind of thing. But the charity event is single-handedly the time that I know, like, at a very core level that I'm doing that. And I don't know. There's something special about that. It makes me feel good when that's true. My day's been alright. Outside of the AC breaking on the way to the mall. Went to the mall and it's like 20-30 minutes away and the AC was broken again. It's just like, oh. So I'm not looking forward to telling Tilda that, but... Are we recording again? We are. Good. Okay. There's going to be a weird jump cut right at the beginning, but, I mean, yeah. I was doing some research on, like, how cancer works. Like, I was listening to some stuff about it a little while back. And cancer's weird, dude. Like, cancer in general is weird. It's like, it's not just like the body messes up in one very specific way and then you just, go in and you mess around with genetics and you flip the switch and it's all good. It's all done. You dealt with it and it's over. Cancer cured, done, dusted. It's not as easy as that. Individual people with different types of cancer have... Despite the fact that they have cancer, it's different. Even if it's like, similar, it can be incredibly different on how it actually impacts the body and all of that jazz. And so it's just like, how do you, I don't know how you cure that, Well, I'm glad, JP. I don't know. I feel like you can talk about your accomplishments. It just depends on how you do it. I keep thinking I hear the click, but I think it's just this headset has a thing where like I hear myself because it's like mostly noise canceling, and I'm hearing the chair click, which I don't normally because my other one it doesn't have that. It just is not as noise canceling as this one is. So it's just like it mutes out a lot of sound, but not all of it. So it doesn't need to have the feedback thing where I've got like a monitor going. That's the word. What's up, Herman? Every now and then he'll lose track of Abby, and he'll be like, and keep making those noises until he finds her, and then he'll like grab her and plonk her down, and it's just like, you know what? It's time for me to clean you. And she's just sort of screams about it. So every now and then I'll have to jump up and go and move him because he's like crushing her. Not tempting to do anything mean or anything, but you know. We give the money to PCRF. They have a much better thing. Like St. Jude's is well known, and they do good work just by being well known. Like that's cool of them, great. But a lot of their money goes to the CEOs, and it goes to the kind of stuff that you were talking about, where it's just like, I'd rather it go to curing children or whatever with cancer or making their lives better at least, PCRF is better about that, which is one of the main issues they've got, actually, is because they have like no marketing budget. Means that no one knows of them, which means that they don't get as much money, which, I guess that's an issue. Like, it's weird because you gotta balance how much your marketing budget is with how much you're actually helping children. Because there's a lot of charities out there that like say they do a thing and then they don't. Like, Wounded Warrior, I think it's Wounded Warrior. That like none of the money actually goes to like wounded veterans, like at all. Like basically, it's a little bit hyperbole. And regardless of what you think of such a charity, like it's kind of crummy that they don't actually give the money to where you would expect. It's on this side, actually, that sheen. And we'll clean that up in a minute. Come back to that. I mean, like, St. Jude's isn't that bad, but PCRF is a much better organization when it comes to that. The amount of overhead is considerably less, which is why we work with them, because we know where that money's going. And I just feel more confident in giving them money over a different organization. Yeah, PETA's a good example, unfortunately. I mean, like, PETA seems like such a good idea. Like, you hear about it and you're like, yeah, I'm down with that. I don't want animals being abused. And then you look into anything about them and it's like, what's a good site to look up charities on? So, Charity Navigator is okay. It's fairly easy to trick that system. So any like Navigator website like that, any website that tells you about charities, you take that kind of stuff with a grain of salt. Like you can kind of like smooth your way into having a slightly better review than you really should. So just kind of keep that in mind whenever you look at any of them. Like if you hear something to the otherwise, maybe follow up that lead, you know? You hear something crummy about an organization, but then Charity Navigator says that they're like a billion out of 10. Is it better with the lips on, or is it better without them? It's hard to say. I mean, they're there now, so I don't know how I feel about it. They look okay. I need to add in like a sheen, and then this needs to dip down ever so slightly and then come back up, so that we have like a little bit more of a feminine lip thing going on. Girly lips. Boop, boop. Yeah, Nestle's pretty gross. They're pretty bad. I've talked about it before, but there's an app for the phone. I don't know if it's still around, but it's called Boycott, and the like boycott, but with the word "buy" in it instead. And it'll allow you to like choose things that you care about. Like I care about gay rights, and then it's like, cool, don't buy from these companies, like. And then you can scan products, and it'll be like, actually, that's made by so-and-so is a massive tool, and you don't like them, So, that's neat, but I found after a while that it was impossible for me to, like, buy things. Because it's just like, they're all evil, apparently. All food is evil. It's like, well, I gotta eat, unfortunately. This does look like a vinyl album from the 80s, doesn't it? Kind of like smear that in a bit, so that way it like still has the highlight, but it's not as intense. Because this dude way in the back, or this lady in the back here, is like, she wasn't there originally, but I photoshopped her in because I felt like this had a lot of dead area, and by just shifting her from where she was, which is like over here to over here, and then making her tinier so that way she's in the back, it was good. Looked better that way. I mean, like, there's an old adage that I learned when I was into protest quite a bit. And it's just sometimes you gotta buy the tent from, Walmart if you're going to camp outside the place. Sometimes it's the only place that you can buy whatever resource that you need to. And it doesn't make you a hypocrite. Obviously you try not to. You try and plan ahead. But sometimes it turns out that you need to get some milk. So that way when you get pepper sprayed, you got some way of dealing with it. And it's like, is that garbage? Does that suck? Yes. But, sometimes you're going to have to make those concessions in order to just live, to survive as a human being. And so, you do you. So that being said, like, that's kind of how I've been treating it, is it's like, I stay away from actively evil corporations or companies as best as I can, but, some companies, it's just like, boy, I hate you, but you're the only one who sells this resource that I need in order to survive, so I guess I'm buying it. Like, Chick-fil-A I don't buy from. Just don't like them. Now that's the camera turning off from out of battery. Yeah. Alright. So give me a sec. As I can use this moment to show you guys the little guy I made. Just keep him right out of the way, out of the line of sight. Woo! That's some spray paint. Let me see if I can get the camera region up. So I'm going to have to switch out the camera. But here's the little dude I painted. It's a battle wagon. I'm really proud of how it turned out. Let me get it a little closer for you guys. Put some dirt on the wheels and stuff. Looks good. A little rusty. Got the dudes hanging out the side shooting. It's good. You can swap out the bits. So if I don't want that gun anymore, I can just be like, nah, it's a dude with binoculars. Didn't really magnetize it like I should. It's just kind of have them hanging in there. Like so. But I like how it turned out. That looks like an actual car you could see. I mean, very Mad Max, but, you know, like an actual vehicle you could see IRL outside of the orcs hanging out of it. But, you know, there's that. But lots of little fiddly details, like all the rivets. Having to paint them silver on a scrap metal piece of crap vehicle was kind of a pain. But I'm liking how this is turning out. I'm liking this one. Let me turn off the camera for a second so I can, yeah, there we go. Don't donate to my Patreon right now. Instead, save your money and give it to the charity that's coming up. Just put this camera on the floor. Bust out the camera or the battery. Like, after that last painting, I'm just like, nah, we're not doing that again. Because that last painting, it was late by a couple hours because I just did not have, I didn't have time. Like, I'd film for 2 hours, then I'd wait for it to charge for an hour, and then I'd film for another 2 hours, and then it would go offline again. And it's just like, that's so annoying. So, because I know the batteries last for 2 hours, I'm just gonna, you know, run this for 2 hours, and the other one's gonna be charging in the background for 2 hours, and then it'll be good. Well, thank you, Blue Lover. I should post a picture of it on Twitter or something. I'm real proud of how it turned out. I'm getting better. I'm getting much better at that. But, you know, it's my little hobbying thing. I know a lot of people wanted to see me, like, do it as, like, a stream, like an Artcade-esque stream of me painting that guy. But I was just like, I kind of need to not. I need to just, like, chill. Do my own thing. And listen to, like, whatever crap on YouTube that I feel like listening to. And so then I did. And I did that instead. Ooh. Oh no. Tell me it wasn't that messed up the whole time. No, it's not. Okay, it's good. Alright. Just gonna spend a couple seconds to try and readjust the camera, get it all situated. Whoop. Get it fairly close to where it was. And then I'll bring you guys back where you can see. Not looking at chat right now, unfortunately. I apologize for that. Okay, that's pretty close. But it is like tilted up lower? Or it's like not zoomed in as much? What happened there? I guess it rocked it as well? Oh, that's definitely not right. When I get the camera as close to the original setting that I had it. Okay. I'm using like the Krylon paint thing in the background there as like a marker. Along with like the markers on the floor that I got here. Ah, that's it. When I got up, I bumped the camera stand. Should be better there. Okay, cool. So now I just got to place you guys back, and we can go back to it. And hopefully we got a little bit of time to work on this situation. It's coming along. I feel like I'd actually probably finish this in about 3 hours. See how that looks. Great. Welcome back. Alright, let's try and get this vaguely right. Turn that off so we're not wasting battery. Not that it matters too much. Alright, that should be like vaguely close. Just bring you guys down a bit so you can see. And there we go. That's pretty good. Shouldn't have touched it. Shouldn't have touched it. Alright, you stay there. Stay. Stay. There we go. Wish I had a better way of setting this up. There's just not room on the little spinny thing to have another camera set up. Okay, that's okay. It's not perfect. I realize. But also it's pointed in the right direction, which is a huge step up. Alright, and then now I gotta make sure that we are still like focused. Alright, we got a little out of focus, but we're back now. Alright, now we can go back to it. So now I spin slowly. That's to not knock the camera. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, cool, good, good. Alright, we're good. Alright, now where were we? Let's see. I don't watch as many mic streams as I oughta. Usually I catch up on what happened on a mic stream later on like Tumblr, where he goes like feral on a fly or something, and he just like starts flipping it off because it was an issue. And it's just like, yeah, it's Mike. It's a good dude. But what did Mike do? Like a year ago, you say? But man, that felt good. Just switching over like that. It's gonna be really easy to do that. Alright, and then we just... Mike going feral sums up most Mike streams. I mean, I suppose. What's going on, baby boy? Herman's making little merps. You don't know where Abby is. She's a good question. I don't know where she is right now either, but she's okay. She's a big girl. She's all of 4 pounds now, so she can handle herself. And the biggest, you know, threat to her is leaving the door open and the door shut, and or Herman just being too rough while they're playing. And Herman doesn't know where she is right now, so she's fine wherever she is. Let's see. We baby-proofed the house yet again after we, you know, right before we got her. So we should be good. Now I'm having an anxiety because I don't know where she is and she's being quiet. I bet you she's just in the other room sleeping, and if I go and check on her, she's gonna be like, "Mer," because like, what are you doing? I was sleeping. Why are you waking me up? Do you want to play? Or can I sit in your lap? Her favorite thing to do right now is sit in my lap while I'm playing either Apex or Hearthstone. I have a hard time playing Hearthstone while she's in my lap. Like Apex, she just wants to get involved. Like she like wants to play too. Hearthstone, she like gets on the table, like on the desk, and starts slapping at the cards. Like I can't watch certain videos on YouTube anymore because of it. The Kennys get along great. They're best friends now, and it's actually kind of nice. Like Herman is pretty chill most of the time. Like they need to be separated every now and then because Abby doesn't understand personal space. Like she's just like, if it's time to play, it's time to play, and that means I'm going to bite you. And sometimes Herman is like, you know what? Right now I feel like sleeping, and Abby is like, nah, it's playtime now. And so he'll get a little angry, or when he's eating, he'll get a little hiffy. It's like, it's fine. So let her play. Hearthstone has a lot of real flashy animations that she's super like into. She'll go after any of the animations that, like, you know, especially like legendaries or drawing cards. She's just like, what? That's amazing. Oh, I'm all about that life right there. Like, I'm about this game. I love this game. It's like, dude, no. Dude, nah. She stares at screens. Like, she understands screens, which is probably dangerous. Like, Herman doesn't really care. Like, if you show him something on a screen, he's just like, yeah, that's not real. But Abby has no concept of such things, which is really funny. And so we show her things on, or like we'll be watching some like whatever show. We were watching a show last night, and Abby was just like, nah, I'm gonna slap the screen now because I didn't see that last bit, so we're going back. It's like, cool, I guess we're not watching that anymore. I mean, most of the Hearthstone streamers that I watch have moved on to team fight tactics. I mean, I guess, like, you know, what happens when you stop playing StarCraft and you stop playing Hearthstone, you go and play team fight tactics. Just like, it's the League of Legends version of auto chess. Like, as soon as auto chess started being a thing, all of those companies started putting together like their own version of it. So now there's like 8 different versions of auto chess, which is just like, I don't really get it. Like, I've watched a few videos on it, and considering I'm confused watching it, now I've started to understand it. I don't think it would make for very good stream unless if I was good at it, which I pretty much can tell that I'm not gonna be. The general premise is that, like, you get random heroes related to the ones from whatever game, and you have to build like kind of like a hand of them, and you have a grid that you place them on, and they'll go and fight each other. When they go and fight each other, they kind of just do whatever. They're all the same game. Like, you know, the assassins will... Crap. The assassins will go and jump over other guys. The rangers will shoot, you know, that kind of thing. And they just do whatever they do, and they go until they've killed everything. It's just like watching mobs auto-attack each other until one dies. And occasionally they'll pop an ult or whatever. So it's about as fun as watching the creeps, like, in any given lane in Dota, just, like, do their thing. If you enjoy that, you'll love auto chess, or teamfight tactics, which is now, you know, the one that everyone's playing. I don't know what makes it better, but it's the one that people play. So it's the one that, you know, all the people that I watch that used to be playing Hearthstone all the time are doing. Let's see. It looks like an alright game. It just looks like a game that I don't really get why people would enjoy. I would rather stream Hearthstone, and no one wants to watch Hearthstone. And Hearthstone, again, is a game that I just play because I like getting dailies. Sounds like you should just be playing RuneScape instead. Seriously, though, it's like not too far off. Like, I never really got into RuneScape. I played a lot of EverQuest growing up, but, you know. RuneScape was always one of those games that, like, I, you know, would try and then... It's a fast-paced gacha game. It's fun, though. I don't feel like anyone's gonna be like, oh man, he's streaming Teamfight Tactics. Oh man, I've been waiting for this, dude. Like, there are certain games that people are like that. Like, when I started streaming Danganronpa, people are like, holy crap, he's streaming it. You know, it's real. Or like, you know, Undertale, to some degree. I didn't stream it. I made videos on YouTube to avoid spoilers. Hive Swap, stuff like that. People get excited. Majora's Mask, as of like a day ago. But, you know, that didn't work, so that's cool. I liked that bit. I need to probably go return that converter thing from where I bought it, but after I figured out that the air conditioning worked, I was kind of not in the mood to go out and do anything else involving the car. Like, just kind of avoid using the car until late in the evening. Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed that the capture card didn't work. It means that I'm going to have to emulate, and I really don't like emulating. Like, I do it out of necessity because it makes the game run, and it allows me to get a good clean capture. But I like being able to play on an actual piece of hardware, because then I can't, like, you know, do things. Like, I can't, you know, autosave, or I can't do any of the garbage that makes the game kind of cheaty. You know, I've actually got to play the game as intended. And if it does something funky, I know it's not the emulator doing something weird. I like the original hardware whenever possible, but looks like that's not an option. You rewatched the Undertale videos recently? That was a good game. That was a really solid game. I know it's like a meme now, and like people hate on it or whatever, but it was a legitimately good game. Like, it had some soul to it, but it didn't, like, I don't know. I feel like a thing now. This is a little bit controversial to say. I feel like a thing now is like your game has to like make a point, and it's, you know, artsy, and it's always going to be about depression, you know, and, you know, dealing with depression. It's just like, I've seen and played so many of those games, you know. They all cover it roughly the same way. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel like back when Braid, I think it was a thing. Like, every game was trying to copy it. Every game was trying to be it. And now it's like, everything's got to be like the depressing, sad time game. And there's a time and a place for that. I like games that, you know, identify with stuff that I actually deal with and talk about stuff and make me think. But sometimes I like, you know, going on a kill streak on Apex and it not being a thing. But that being said, everything I just said, Undertale, like, had a message about, like, you know, friendship and hope and all that kind of corny crap, but it didn't do it in such a way that it felt ham-fisted, you know? Like, I mean, it bludgeons you with it. It absolutely bludgeons you with that information, you know? And, like, the essential gimmick is that, but it's like, you know, I feel like it earned that. It earned the ability to pull that, you know? Whereas a lot of games, like, they just go, oh, this game's about depression, so it's sad now. It's just like, you know, it had other stuff going on. It had other stuff going on that made it work. And, you know, there were moments in that game. There were memorable moments. There was good music. I'm not a total fan of what's going on. I mean, yeah, I think, you know, in reference to maybe, like, the stuff going on with, like, Minecraft right now, like, I definitely feel like there could be a possibility where, like, in 10 years, we're all like, yeah, I'm just gonna, it's a joke, but I'm just gonna, I want to play, Undertale again. It's been 10 years, I mean, like, it was a bad game, right, guys? It was bad, and then we play it, and it's like, man, that was actually a really solid game. It was a good game. And then we're all just like, yeah, I was just gonna do a one-off stream or a one-off video for it, but man, it's just having a good time. Having a good time playing it. So I guess I'm gonna play a little bit more Undertale now. And I definitely could see that the same thing that's happening with Minecraft right now happening again, but next time with Undertale. Yesterday's cringe is tomorrow's nostalgia. It's a poignant statement. I agree. Okay, that Dragon Cancer is actually a legitimately good game. Who does that and earns that? That Dragon Cancer earns every moment that it makes you feel like crap and sad. Like, it goes through the trouble of actually earning that, God, I met the guy. I forget what year it was. It was the year that I did the, I want to say, South by video. He was there. He was there at the convention. He was hawking the game. And I go up to him with the camera guy, my friend, and I'm like, hey, what is this game about? And he's like, hey, this is about, my kid, I lost him, the whole story, the whole premise of the game. He explains to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm messing with people here. I'm gonna leave you, I wish you luck. I'm gone. Like, I'm not messing with this guy. Could probably would get decent number of views, but again, it's just like, Jesus, man, such a sad game, such a sad game. And I don't know, you just don't do that. You don't do that to people, when it's just like a whatever game. I don't mind it as much. Yeah, that Dragon Cancer hits you like a freight train. And that stream that Hootie did, I want to say in 2016, you're saying, that was a brutal stream. That was an absolutely brutal stream. It needed to happen. It was a good stream, but God, it was rough. It was so hard to watch. Not because he didn't do a good job of it, but because he actually, like, I don't know, Hootie's a good dude, and he's got a soul. It's that whole game just messed with him on a level that you could feel. You could feel it, and that's why it was so rough. He streamed again recently. I saw that he was doing it for, trying to get the channel affiliate before the charity happens. And, I didn't go and watch. I mean, it was when I was going and hanging out with my parents, but I mean, I was just like, I can't do that. I can't do it. I'm sorry, Hootie. I love you, I respect you, but I can't. Can you not find her? She's in the bedroom, probably, dude. She's probably sleeping in her chair. Go check next to the window. Sorry. Herman is just like, what's going on? Where's Abby? That stream only worked because Hootie's a good dude. It needs to exist in exactly the way it does, and it needs to be, like, exactly that game. Herman sounds like a 2-year-old from far away. He's just going, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's his, like, I don't know where someone is sound. He used to make that sound before we got Abby when, like, he couldn't figure out where we were, especially late at night. And he would just go around the apartment, which is not that big. It's not that big of an apartment. You guys have seen a majority of it. If you've watched any stream of mine, you've seen a majority of it. This is, a fairly small nook that I stream from. But, it's a decent chunk of the apartment, the whole setup we got here. The kitchen's right behind you there, and then, this is my streaming area, and that's it. There's a video on this channel that's the whole apartment. It's just like, dude, it's not that big. Just look around, man. Yeah, I can't play that game. Like Hootie said, it's the hardest game he's ever played. And you could tell, I'm gonna cry if I keep thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, Hootie's a good dude. That's why I asked him to be my best man. Because I can trust him, and I know what he's like. I know his character. I know what he's like as a person. And he's a good dude. He's a legitimately really good dude. Like, that person that you see when he streams, that's him. That's him to a T. I mean, sorta. I say that, but he's a lot better of a person than he even lets on. Herman, literally go in the other room. Cat. He's missing her, but he can't find her. And it's just like, look somewhere you haven't yet, dude. Might have to help him out with it in a minute here. Hoodie's a really good dude. You know. And it's why we're able to have the charity, because in addition to wrangling up the streamers and making sure that they do what they're supposed to, and understanding how stupid and weird we are, he's also able to wrangle up a whole bunch of people to do whatever they need to do. And I promise him every year I'm going to be like, hey, I'll help with it. And I feel bad because every single time I don't. But, you know, that's me. Might make some changes to him or her I guess, to kind of fix this, because it just doesn't feel right. Like, that downward tilt should not be a downward tilt. It needs to be like a that instead. And this background person is actually like super blacked in. Okay, so let's see. Alright. Last a little bit. And where are we on time? I got like 30 minutes to an hour. I think I can finish this, actually. I think I could maybe finish this painting in that amount of time. In which case, we'll just do, instead of this painting tomorrow, which I expected to be doing, I'll be doing whatever the Patreon thing is. But again, like, once whatever wins, I'll be running almost the exact same poll with maybe a few recommendations. Again. for the next one. Then recently turned it out. The kind of like inner workings of which t-shirt company we're going with, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been helping with the charity, so I don't really know the specifics of what's been going on with all that. So I can't really answer that. I just kind of let the people who are working on the charity make decisions and know that they'll do the right thing. I connected them up with Kronog, and that's about it. You know, I messaged the Kronog people and I was like, hey, would you guys be willing to help? You know, me and you have been partnered for a while. We got this charity going on, and they're like, yeah, let us know more information. And I was like, here's the contact of a person you should be talking to. And that's basically what I did to help with the charity this year, is get Kronog going. And I honestly didn't think that was going to work. So I'm glad it did. I'm glad that they came through. They just helped out with whatchamacallit. GDQ. And they take a massive loss whenever they do that, so I wasn't sure if they were going to actually be able to do it. You know, they did GDQ, and then they're going to do this one. But, you know, they're making it work. I don't know how. Hey, Christina Games, how you doing? I feel like I need to get rid of like some of that line there, because it's like a lot of that is more implied from like the shading of just like the darkness in that room, and like I put it there because it's supposed to be there. You know what? It helps. There's the Abby. Hey, Herman. Abby's right there. Hold on. Abby! How are you doing? Drinking some water? Say hi. She's still kind of waking up. Quick Abby cam for you guys. Hey, Galactic Panda, how you doing? Alright, now I just gotta position this camera back roughly where it was without knocking it too much. Great. Nope, camera turned off. There's Herman. He's scratching up the scratching board now. There we go. It's a little bit off. I'd like to turn it a bit, but also needs to kind of stay balanced. I shouldn't have picked up the camera. Should just move the cat. Once I can get it to balance again, wherever it's at is where it's at. Okay. Is that? Are you gonna stay? No. Okay. She was just in the room, dude. Stay? No. Stay? Good. Okay. It's a little bit off. It's gonna have to do, though. I'm not really happy with that, though. There. That's good. Okay, that should be good. Shaky cam is probably just from all the caffeine. But, you know, it is what it is. It's, caffeine life. Also just trying to get the camera to balance quite right. It's a very small region. It's like the lens. I kind of just balance it on there, and then it works. That's how we do. Don't feet. Don't feet. You can say feet, but don't. You're allowed to by most countries' laws, but consider that instead, there's so many other things you could be doing with yourself. Making yourself proud. You know, going to bed at night and realizing, hey, I didn't say feet when I saw Rev's feet today on stream. That makes me a good person. PogChamp stability. Yeah, it's not Twitch. No Twitch streaming for the next couple of days. So, I'll just be on here doing art instead. Because, you know, I want to do streams. It's what I do. But, we have options. And I tried doing a stream on Twitch of art. Oh, hey, Tilda. I think I might go ahead and wrap up here then. Tilda just walked in. But, that's, I think that's where we're going to call it for the day. Thank you guys for watching. Let me go ahead and clean up. Put on a BRB thing. Feet have been banned. It is your turn now. That's an ominous and weird thing to say. But yeah. No to feet, but yes to ears? Well, no. Also no to that as well. But yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm going to call it for today. If you haven't already, the charity art contest is happening. And you could go and you could donate a little bit of your time to making some art in order to have nice graphics for the charity. The rules and stuff are on the Boru, if you want to go there, or alternatively go hope.vineshroom.net/charity_contest. Ends on July 17th at 11:59 EDT. I have no idea what time zone that is, but it's soon, so you know, there's that. Anyway, I'm gonna go for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. I'll see you guys tomorrow with more art. See you then.